Hello and welcome back to Firestorm Games, and in this video we're going to be looking at some of Mantic Games' The Walking Dead All-Out War products. First of all, we have the Miles Behind Us farm expansion set here, and also the Negan Game Booster as well. I'll be looking at both of these in this video, but first of all we're going to be focusing on Miles Behind Us expansion. Now this focuses around when Rick's group of survivors arrives at Herschel Green's farm, and it's kind of the events that transpire around that. Now in this set, if I just flip this over, you can see we get a number of miniatures in here. We get Herschel himself, we get Billy, Otis, Patricia, and two walkers as well. Now these walkers have been designed to represent Herschel's zombified wife and son as well. We also get a few different items here. We get various game cards, we have some scenery, cardboard scenery, and also a game mat as well. So let's open this box up and take a look at the contents inside. First of all, we have this instruction booklet, which includes some rules for using the items inside this box set. Now, first of all, we have items such as the barns, the split rail fences, hay bales, farm machinery, rules for using those in your game and how they act as obstacles. Then we also have a few other items for special rules, including smoking, beacons, burning brands, things collapsing, things being flammable. And then we start moving on to the scenarios, and the scenarios themselves kind of depict the journey that Rick's group take prior to arriving at the farm, and then also the events that transpire at the farm itself. So we start off with clear the road, leaving Wiltshire Estates. Next up we get friendly fire, attack on the farm, and then the final scenario that we get in here is the barn itself, I think. And that's the final one, sorry, is supply raid. So this is pretty much all of the events leading up to and around and just after as well. Everything's full colour, as you can see. We also got some items taken from the comic books themselves. So with the instruction booklet we looked at, let's move on to some of the cards that we get in this expansion. Next up, we have the cards that we get in this game. Now we get 3 different sizes of cards and 4 different types of cards altogether. So first of all, we have the character cards. Now we get a card in here for each of the characters, miniatures that we get in this box set. So we've got Herschel, Billy Green, we also have Otis, and Patricia as well. We also get a few cards for miniatures that aren't actually in this set, including Laurie Grimes and also Dale as well. In addition to those, we also get some new event cards that you can add to your current event deck. We've got Fire here, which is an actual fire occurs somewhere in the game. We have a Mega Herd. We also have a Grim Recognition, and finally Escaped Livestock. So these kind of give you some nice thematic events for your games revolving around the green farm. Finally, we have the supply cards and also the equipment cards as well. So supply cards are what you would kind of distribute across the farm, and you can pick these up when you find them. So we've got things like bear traps, which is an instant, I think that's like a trap card. We have some pills, medication, a scythe, and then 2 burning brands as well. Finally, we have the equipment cards, which are also in these small size cards here. Also pretty much standard things. We've got bandages, we've also got a sniper rifle, lasso, pitchforks, cleavers, antique rifle, sickles, tranquilizer gun, animal catcher pole, 2 of those, a cattle prod, and a veterinary bag as well. So these are all pretty much items that you would associate with the characters and also the location in here. So it can really add some nice thematics to the characters you're using in this game. So that's the cards looked at. Let's move on to some of the card scenery and the battle mat. So first of all, we have this folded battle mat, which is roughly 2 foot by 2 foot in size. It's got this kind of grass texture and also this road on here that you can use to represent the farm in your games. On the other side of this paper here, we do have a kind of like a collection poster where you can tick off all of the characters and walkers that you've collected so far. This is just pretty much just poster material. There's nothing special about this mat. It's probably not going to stand up to much wear and tear, so I would recommend maybe picking up a mouse mat material instead. So in addition to this actual game mat, we also get some card scenery. We've already briefly seen it in the rulebook, so we've got some various items you would expect to see around the farm. We've got some farming equipment, hay bales, fences. We also got a barn here as well, which is a large item which uses as a set piece for some of the later scenarios. Now all these items here are card stock. You can see here quite nice thick card, quite durable and quite nicely printed on there as well. Basically just pop these down on your mat and they just act as obstacles, which is great because if you don't have any access to pre-made scenery or anything like that, you can pretty much use everything that you've got in here and be playing the games straight away. So that's all of the cards, the rules, and also the scenery looked at. Let's move on to probably the most interesting part of the set, which is the miniatures themselves. So next up we have the Negan Game Booster, and you can see Negan just poking out from this little window in the box there. But in addition to him, we also get a few additional items. We also get Andy and another walker as well. So let's open this box up and take a look at the contents inside. So first of all, for the Negan Booster, we have these two types of cards that we get in the game. We have, first of all, these stat cards. We've got one for Negan there, and also one for Andy, one for each of the miniatures that we get in this set. And you can see here we've got some nice special rules for the formidable Negan, leader of the Saviors. Very much a formidable character there, with a rule set to match as well. Now, in addition to that, we also get some equipment cards, and first of all, being Lucille, which is the iconic barbed wire wrapped baseball bat, which is employed by Negan himself. You can see here we've got Lucille itself. We've got 22 revolver, an adrenaline shot, and also a grenade as well that you can equip your characters in that you get in this set. So with the cards looked at, let's move on to the miniatures. Now before I move on to summarising the expansion pack and the booster, I want to just point out some of the really nice packaging that we get in these sets. You can see here we've got each of these little panels here to put your characters in, and each of those fits into their own little slot like so, which means when you've painted them you don't have to worry about storing them in foam or them getting chipped or damaged once you've painted them. In addition to that, you also have these inserts as well. You can see here we've got the large cards sit on top, then we have the medium sized cards, and then at the bottom we have the small cards as well, and each of these is kind of inlaid, so you can put them all in there, keep these cards separate, keep them together, and all your miniatures stay nicely together and protected. So that concludes our look at both the Miles Behind Us expansion and also the All Out War Negan Booster as well. Now both of these sets are really nice for people who don't really want to spend a lot of time in miniature building or painting, because the miniatures come pre-assembled. You can pretty much take them straight out of the box and get playing straight away as well. So it is very much designed for people who don't have a lot of time to do that or are quite new to the wargaming hobby. Now if you want to play this game, you will need the All Out War starter set, as that contains all the core rules and all the tokens that you'll need to actually start playing the main game. These are obviously expansions, and they can really kind of flesh out the amount of zombies and characters that you have for your games. Now one thing I want to point out is the quality of the miniatures. It is that hard plastic that's actually really nice to work with, so if you actually want to remove any of the mold lines and actually start painting these, they're really nicely detailed and they're really nice material in which to work with. I quite like the styling that they've gone for as well. It's based on the comic books as opposed to the TV show, and it has a slightly heroic scale, so the hands and the heads are slightly bigger as well, but they're all 28mm. If you'd like to pick up these sets for yourself, they're both available on the Firestorm Games web store, and I'll include links in the description below to take you directly to both of them. Now the RRP for this set is $24.99 and the RRP for this set is £13.49. However, on the Firestorm Games web store, they're available for £22.49 and £12.14 respectively. So definitely make sure you pick those up if you're looking for a saving. Now if you enjoyed this video, please do let us know in the comments below, and also make sure you subscribe to be kept up to date with all of our future videos. All that's left to say now is thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you again on Firestorm Games.